What's up, Thumpers? Welcome to another trailer action from Hyper Rabbit Power Go. We're doing the final trailer for Dark Phoenix, 20th Century Fox.
You guys know where this
formerly.
is from?
What is that?
This is from Dodgeball.
Oh,
the
that's
purple
right.
cobras walked
That's
in
right.
like this.
That's right. So we're doing this final trailer for
They love
Dark
X-Men.
Phoenix, the final entry. So we think in the 20th Century Fox X-Men movie series. New Mutants apparently delayed again.
But
I told y'all. I told y'all. I called that.
I read something today that it was delayed again, and I'm like, when is this movie?
Okay.
Is this movie ever coming out?
Okay.
No.
But before we do the trailer reaction, I want to let you know we relaunched our Patreon, patreon.com/hyperrpg. We've got tiers from $2 to $250. We've got brand new stuff coming out. We've got something going up there very, very soon. A really, really fun video that we want you guys to watch and engage with, and let us know if you want to do more of. Because
no exaggeration, maybe my favorite thing the three of us have ever done together.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And
it's
it will
super
be
fun.
exclusively on the Patreon.
Exactly. And we also talked about like doing it for other series, which is crazy, but could be really, really fun. And also, the Patreon is the way how you keep this whole thing alive, how we keep this going, how we continue to expand and be able to do more content. You can get a little taste of what you could get.
You can get half a little. That's it. The other half of the grito is on that Patreon. So if you want a full grito, go grab that Patreon. That's it. That's all you're getting.
That's all you're getting. Sorry.
I think somebody in our episode got a grito this week. So. Yeah, you'll be able to hear it.
You could be one of those.
You could be one of those
people. The Patreon is literally what's going to help us continue doing this stuff, and we love doing this. And if you love watching this stuff, check it out. Consider joining, and we'll leave it at that. This trailer, though,
let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
I don't want. It's a whole thing to talk about.
It is.
I think at this point people know how we feel, especially how I feel. So
let's just do it. Final trailer.
Ladies and gentlemen of NASA, this is Charles Xavier. Help is on the way.
We're doing space missions now. Cool.
We get the astronauts, we bring them home. Go.
Okay, that's super dope.
Heat signature's rising fast.
We gotta get out of here.
I feel like they did that already somewhere, though.
Where is she?
Damn. So it's not just in her mind.
She should be dead.
Did you hear what the kids are calling you? Phoenix.
Hello, Jean. Who are you? The better question is, who are you?
Something's happening to me.
No, but who are you, Jessica
Lose
Chastain?
control. Bad things happen.
Oh shit!
But it feels good.
That power destroyed everything it ever came into contact with. Until you. The X-Men fear you. And what they fear, we seek to destroy.
She'll kill us all.
The girl dies.
She's still our friend. She's not Jean anymore.
Are you threatening me?
That's right.
That would be a bad idea.
Oh boy!
Very intrigued.
Okay.
Very intrigued. It was a good, well put together
Yeah.
trailer. They are working with what they've got. I like the Quicksilver moment at the beginning, which is, we're doing space missions now. Okay. It's very X-Men comic
That is
booky,
X-Men.
and it was a very
Yeah.
clever thing that I believe probably only exists in the movie because they knew this is going to go in the trailer. This is going to be
Right.
that thing that explains and sets up the stakes. And the fact that the X-Men were using their powers to go and help like astronauts, I think that stuff is dope. I like that. I think that that's cool. And it reminds me of the way that comic book movies of the past, sort of the previous generation, of the previous era, which really, it's funny that we're saying era, but it's basically everything up until 2008.
Yeah.
Address stuff like this, where like in 2007 Spider-Man 3, there is a gooey alien that just sets down on the park and then it gets to Peter Parker.
Right.
Like that's as close as they got to like
Telling-
the Venom symbiote
thing, yeah.
right? And like the Fantastic Four movies with the cosmic rays in the first one, like they go up to a space station and then they come back and it's all like that's as close as they're sort of touching that thing. The Silver Surfer touched that a little bit in the second movie, but I think that I think that especially when it comes to the Marvel universe, like DC Cosmic is something different. The entry point there is stuff like Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And that didn't work movie-wise, but there's still like there's other sort of entry points. But on the Marvel side, I really feel like it is so crazy how fortunate that franchise has that Guardians of the Galaxy exists. That it could just set all that stuff up over here so that if and when it comes into play, we're like, cool, let's go. Yeah. Because this movie has to do the work of, okay, everybody, if we're going to talk about the Phoenix Force as some kind of cosmic entity, and then here comes the Jessica Chastain character to like explain stuff. She knows about it. She's related to it. That's going to be... It sounds silly, but even in a post-Infinity War world, it's going to be tricky for them to do as it pertains to this franchise, especially because this is all in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah,
So like they're doing a lot here to try and tell a version of this classic comic book story that's not quite. And I'm not saying any of the MCU movies are either. They're all adaptations and variations on those comic stories, even including Infinity War, different than the Infinity Gauntlet. We all know that. But this movie has all of that stuff to do while still like getting people hyped for these actors, for these moments, for these characters. And we're in oversaturation, and everybody's talking MCU, and everybody's talking, DC's coming back with Aquaman, with Shazam. This is, and especially with the Fox stuff, this is all stuff that I don't know how regular movie-going audiences are going to like be aware of it, if it will affect their interest. I think it's super smart and great that this is coming out a couple weeks after Infinity War. Like the dust, pun not intended, will have settled.
Well, we don't know what's settling.
We don't know what's settling yet. But the point is that it was just like Deadpool last year.
Yeah.
Infinity War came out, and then like Solo, and then Deadpool 2, and everyone was like, let's go see Deadpool.
Yeah,
it was fun and great and different. So I am really, really looking forward to seeing this and seeing like how it all plays out.
Sure.
Could I end up loving it? Yeah.
Totally.
And I hope I do. And I liked enough of the X-Men movies to own a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I got X-Men Apocalypse. I don't watch it, but I like own it, and I liked enough parts in it to buy it. So it's like it's not going to take a lot to get Hector to be like, this is great. But
better than Apocalypse.
It has the potential, for sure, it has the potential to be better than Apocalypse, clearly. It has a potential to do some real cool stuff, and it has a potential to be, like Logan, kind of an unofficial, like, goodbye. Because this might be it. So like,
what if they end this with Phoenix just killing everyone,
everyone.
Like
just
that
legit
would be
killing everybody?
Well, they would still have to do even like the end of Logan, even though he died.
Right.
The hope was Laura. The hope was the little kid who turned it to the X.
Still
and you're
very
like
open-ended though.
There's kids, man. There's mutant kids. It's open-ended. That would have to end in a way where like all the X-Men characters are dead, but. Maybe Nightcrawler lived. Maybe Quicksilver. Maybe Beast. Maybe Hank will be the next. Like there'll have to be something to be like. This is thematically how we're going to wrap up the X-Men.
Yeah.
But the youth represents the hope, and then it'll end on that note. It could happen.
It might just be new mutants that they show. Maybe it'll be like.
But we've heard stuff that's not even really connected. Like
exactly.
I'm curious about
that's
that
the
too.
thing.
I'm
So like,
that.
I think if you're right, Hector, like this. Well, first of all, this trailer I liked it much better than the other one.
Yes,
this
same.
got me more hyped than the other one did. But ending wise, like I didn't even think about that. Like this is wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Like, and this doesn't have the big swan song like the Infinity Saga has,
or like the last Harry Potter.
Yeah, which
or
feels
like,
sad.
Or just Logan.
It is. Logan was able
Wolverine's
to advertise and go
right.
like. The last chapter of the saga that you followed for 20 years. Like it's able to do that. And maybe we'll see another trailer that leans into that.
Maybe.
But like so far, Dark Phoenix is not advertising itself in that way. And that is kind
of
a bummer.
This is it says it's the final trailer, so like
this is maybe
it's
the
so
last,
crazy to think of that there's an X-Men movie, a modern X-Men movie that's not ending with Wolverine in it either.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
He is the embodiment of the X-Men, and he's not in. It's
movies,
just
at least,
this is all strange to me, and I'm more curious to see how this movie's going to end at this point because there's a lot of stuff changing, and the New Mutants is still up in the air, and we don't know what else is happening. So, yeah, it's going to be real interesting.
I'm also interested to see if post-acquisition, if there were any sort of last-minute conversations between Simon Kinberg, people at Fox, the producers, Lauren Schuler-Donner, with Kevin Feige, asking what could we do? How could we do it? Is there any way that we could kind of set it up for you in a sense of
like
creating some sort of a bridge for these characters to go into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Or are you fine with us just telling our own story, and however it ends, it ends? We'll be done making these movies under the Fox Marvel banner, and when the next time we revisit the X-Men, it'll be under Marvel Studios, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They'll be fully integrated if it's 5, 6, 7 years, whatever the case may be. Because I don't think... I think that because of Kevin Feige's working relationship with producer Lauren Schuler Donner, you know, that's how he started his career, was working on her X-Men movies. I think there is an opportunity for them to continue collaborating on the future of X-Men. And I think that as a, not necessarily as a thank you, but just as a courtesy, I imagine someone like Kevin Feige would say, hey, we want to continue working with you on these X-Men movies. Like, bring your company over. Let's work together. Let's figure out how we can continue this working relationship.
I think just as a fan, and it doesn't really matter what I think, but I think that I feel like I would love for a lot of the talented people that work on these X-Men movies to come over, but to completely start fresh. Because it is, I'm not trying to knock all of the hardworking people that have worked on these movies for like 2 decades, but if the X-Men movie, starting from X-Men 1, picture this, a scenario where the first X-Men movie was maybe even better than it was. Not that it wasn't already great. It was great, and especially for the time. And then X-Men 2, stellar. What if X-Men 3 was awesome? What if X-Men Origins Wolverine was dope? Like early, like a pre-Logan. Like it was better, you know, what if they were so incredible that by the time the MCU started and that this was in the horizon, maybe some sort of acquisition, that it would always be the plan to be like, we're just going to merge. Rope it in because of how good it is. In my opinion, I don't think that this franchise up to this point has been that good enough for me to go, let's just absorb it.
Right.
Look at what they did with Spider-Man and working with Sony and Spider-Man Homecoming. That's what I want to have happen with the X-Men. I would want a lot of creative people to come over and be like, you get to start fresh with new X-Men stuff, but here's the deal. Marvel Studios we have these needs. We need the X-Men to do this, and we will help you in this way, and you have these toys to play with, and you, yes, exactly. This is their role, and we'd like to focus on this to make it different even from what you guys did. Again, not to just like one-up you, but to just make it different. To not crap on, you know, and would you want to work on that? And I feel like with their storytelling capability combined with the really, really smart, like, intuitive decisions that people like Kevin Feige make to be like, well, actually do this because it's either closer to the comics, it will be a better movie choice, whatever.
Better for our universe.
I think it would just make everything sort of cohesive, you know, more cohesive. But that's just me.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it needs it too, and I think that's the big reason why you're going to see them take a pause on X-Men movies for a few years, because I think if they were to do it immediately, I think Marvel Studios already has its own plan with what they're doing with the Eternals and all the other movies and all the sequels that they still have to make to characters like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. Is it going to go into Miles Morales? I think they already have a lot of chips on the table that I don't know if they necessarily want to move, because unlike Spider-Man, X-Men is a universe. Spider-Man is also, but they only got Spider-Man. They didn't get Spider-Man and Venom and all these other characters. Like they could slowly integrate them, like they did with Vulture, like they did with Scorpion. Like they slowly could. Shocker and all these characters, Mysterio. But I think it's like a movie by movie basis. Whereas with the X-Men, it's kind of like you have everything. Okay, great. We'll deal with everything as we open up like pockets of opportunity, and I think that also includes Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen a lot of reports just saying that this is all in the future, because apparently they already have a 5-year plan as to what's going to happen. So
yeah, that's fine.
I'm thinking all of this. It's still very fresh, and we're talking about it like, you know, like
it's gonna happen
they
tomorrow.
came in with these contingency plans with everything's ready. And I had always assumed that Feige had a contingency plan in case they ever got the X-Men at a specific point. But honestly, I feel like even though as much as I dislike this series up until this point, I think it would also be disrespectful to just like jump in and be like,
agreed.
Like,
Totally.
Yeah, here's Wolverine again.
Yeah. I think there's opportunities for them to start planting seeds towards mutants, X-Men,
absolutely,
you know,
concepts.
And I think Feige will probably do that with some of these upcoming movies.
Absolutely.
But
just like we saw,
saying,
we heard Wakanda in Age of Ultron.
Exactly.
We're going to see Muir Island. We're going to hear Genosha, which is like the country off the coast of Africa that eventually Magneto controlled. We're going to hear maybe like, you know, Madripoor, Latveria, those kinds of seeds. Westchester, New York. Oh, there's something happening up in Westchester. Something, you know, we're going to see that kind of stuff before we see
We'll probably
a
be
character.
hearing of reports of like people, superpowered people that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah.
Like little things. We're probably going to be hearing about really deep cut superheroes that not a lot of people would know about, which I keep hearing is also part of the rumor that is part of their plan, that like we're going to be getting new stuff that even like hardcore comic book nerds are going to have to like go back in their encyclopedias.
Eunice the Untouchable.
Exactly. Like, who is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, like, we just completely got off this trailer.
The point is that I think we're all in agreement. This was a good trailer.
Yeah.
It was well cut together.
It brings the stakes and emotion.
Kudos to the people who did it. Brings the stakes and emotion. We all, I think, have a respect for this franchise, for what it's done. I
mean, this is what got me really sucked into superhero movies.
So,
in the 2000s.
and we're not wishing any kind of ill will on anybody involved in the movie. But we are coming at it from a perspective of sort of what's next, and that's a bummer. And I don't think we're trying to do that too much. Like we want to.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what this movie has to say when it comes out. I'm going to be there.
It's Simon Kinberg's directorial debut, and he's been involved with so many
Star
properties.
Wars Rebels,
so much stuff.
Fantastic Four with Josh Trank, like good and bad. So
and I want to see Fantastic. Yeah, and I want to see sort of what he brings to this that has not been brought on by other directors, especially one who shall not be named because he's been attached to it for so long and made so many of the movies.
Bryan Singer.
Yeah,
boo, Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
He just said he who shall not be named.
Well,
Hector.
Boo, Bryan Singer. Sorry.
Well, okay, you're booing him, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But guys, let us know in the comments what you thought about this final trailer for Dark Phoenix. Where do you think this franchise will go? How do you think they're going to tie up all the loose ends? And I'm just so curious to hear everybody's thoughts on this because I think everyone has so many varying opinions and thoughts on this whole thing.
And what do you think of again, just
the trailer?
Trailer 2, final trailer. What do you think of it?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, subscribe, youtube.com/hyperrpg. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/hyperrpg if you want to see more breakdowns on trailers and all kinds of stuff. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.